YouTube, what is up? It is your boy Duke, back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 24 video, I'm going to break down the secret to perfect passing. So if you're tired of your quarterback missing open receivers, if you're tired of throwing interceptions, if you're tired of just not knowing how to lead your passes to get completions, this is the video for you. A lot of people just don't know how to properly pass the ball, what settings to use, what pass leads to use. It is actually very important to use the correct settings and also know how to use the correct pass leads in all the different situations. So the first thing you need to know is what settings to use, because we have a lot of different settings. We can use freeform skill-based passing, we can use the classic settings, and if you're going to use freeform, you have a lot of different options. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to go into your options for your settings, and you're going to want to go and look at your passing options. Now, I highly recommend, and we need to put this on all Madden, I highly recommend putting your passing type on both placement and accuracy so you can have control over not only where you're putting the ball, but the accuracy of it as well. Now, classic passing is just going to be the passing mechanics that have been in the game for years. I don't recommend using it because if you're using classic, you're not going to be able to use the pass leads that you need to throw your receivers open on a lot of routes this year. You're just going to get broken of passes, especially with how OP man can be at times. You need to use placement and accuracy. Now, the most important thing though is I would say have your freeform reticle max distance on near and your speed at 11 out of 20. Now guys, yeah, you could put it at no max distance. If you do that though, it's really, really hard. Essentially what this setting does is it's basically allowing for a certain amount of distance that you can move the reticle outside of the target area when you're using freeform passing. And if you put it on no max distance, you literally could put the ball wherever you wanted, which is nice in a way, but there's just a lot of margin for error. And I don't really think that the average player is going to be able to get this down. If you do far, again, not as bad as no max distance, but still, I think near is just the easiest one to get down. You can do enough with near, and you're not going to risk making mistakes. Now, the speed, the freeform reticle speed, that's essentially how fast you can move the reticle when you're, using the freeform passing. The faster the higher you put your setting, the faster it's going to go. Now, I use 11. I think 11 is perfect because it kind of allows you to move it fast enough to make all the leads you need, but it's not going to go crazy. You're not going to feel like you're playing Call of Duty or Halo or some first-person shooter where, everything's just super twitchy and it's out of control. So these are the settings I use. I think that they're really the best, and they're going to allow you to do what you need to do without messing up a lot. So how does this actually translate to a game? When do you use these pass leads? What type of routes, etc., etc.? So right now, a lot of people are playing man. I really believe that you need to know how to freeform against man coverage this year. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to fit certain throws in there. And a lot of the routes I'm referring to are going to be like crossers, corners, post C routes, those types of routes. Routes that have a hard cut to them, you're going to need to know how to use this. So let's show some examples. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you enjoy this content, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, comment. All the support helps me out a lot. And I definitely appreciate all the love I've gotten on my early Madden 24 videos. And we're just going to keep on going. So right now I have the defense in cover 2 man, which is basically man with the safeties over the top. You're going to notice that, you could do corner routes, you could do C routes, you can do posts. All these routes are going to get good separation against man. However, if you don't freeform them, you're just not going to get as much separation as you could. So like right here, I was able to freeform this pass directly to the sideline on the break of the C route. So I'm going to do that once or twice more. As soon as I see him breaking the sideline, I'm literally, as you guys can see, if you notice the reticle, I was able to move it outside the circle. So what I did to activate my freeform passing was I held down LT or L2, depending upon your system, and as I'm throwing the bullet pass to the receiver, I'm leading it all the way to the sideline. So in this case, that would be to the left. So I'm going to do that again. I want to activate it, so I just hold it down. You guys can see I'm able to move it a little bit more to the side. Now that time I did overthrow it just a hair. So that is what I'm saying. Like from time to time, you could overthrow it, but you guys can see I'm able to create that extra separation. Now guys, just so you know, just because you have the setting on does not mean you have to use it. So if you're not comfortable with it and you don't want to use it, say, you just have someone that's open, you don't feel like you need to use it. That's completely fine. If I feel like my receiver is open enough where I don't need to use it, I can just use the normal passing just as I did there. So skill-based passing only is going to activate for the freeform if you hold down LT or L2. Now, if you're just literally pressing the icon on the receiver and leading it with your analog stick without holding down LT or L2, it will not activate. Do you want to become a better Madden player and win more games? If so, check out my premium Madden strategy website, sportsgamers.com. I've built sportsgamers.com to provide you with the best Madden tips, best Madden ebooks and schemes, all from the pros at the lowest price possible. I've helped thousands upon thousands of Madden players improve their games, and I can help you as well. Our VIP Madden membership is our best offer yet. This membership will include all of our Madden ebooks all year long and hundreds of weekly Madden Vault tip updates to keep you ahead of the game. Click the link in the description and use coupon code DUKE for 10% off your order. Now, another route you should really master your freeform on is corner route. A corner route is always going to be one of the best man-beating routes, but when you have the extra control of where to lead the ball, you can really abuse all sorts of different leverage and man coverage, whether they're pressing you or playing off coverage, doesn't matter. So I just picked a very simple play right here. We got Z-spot. The slot receiver is already on a corner route, and I'm going to show you guys how you can lead corner routes way better with this freeform in different situations in man coverage. So first we're going to go look at a man press. So I got a slot receiver, like I said, he's on a corner route. We're going to man press, and he's going to basically get the release, and we're going to see how we want to lead it. So right after release, you guys could see, he had about a yard of separation. However, I was able to create extra separation by using the freeform. So what I did is as soon as I saw he released from the press, so like right about now, he has about a yard or two. If I just lead this normal with the classic passing, that might get swatted this year. But because I had the freeform on, I was able to lead it up into the sidelines, like kind of up into the right, create even more space so that DB could not react. Okay guys, now I want to show you how you can use corner routes with the freeform passing against off-man coverage. Now, off-man coverage is typically going to be something you see in like a man-to-man blitz, like a cover zero. Spinner is a very common off-man cover zero blitz. Spinner's been good for years. And it's a big difference in how you're going to want to throw this ball. So if off-man, you no longer have a DB lined up right over top of you pressing you. You most likely have a safety or corner slot, whatever, lined up probably 10 yards off the ball, giving you a free release, right? So the way you're going to lead this is just way different. So I want to show a few examples. Same play, Z-spot with the slot receiver on the corner, and let's just get to work. So guys, right away you can see that's a way different pass lead. That was actually tighter coverage right away, and the reason is we didn't even have a chance to get a release to gain separation, so we had to just rely upon timing and our pass lead to get open here. So if you zoom in here, you guys can see on the break, the safety's over the top of us. He's in a really good position, right? He's probably over top or so into the inside by about a yard. There's not much separation here, but I know that if I lead this a certain way, I'm going to be able to complete it. So right after the break, I'm already starting to throw the ball. Now, keep in mind, the lead is much different against off-man. Remember, guys, against press-man, we got a release, so we kind of released, over the top of him, so I threw it up into the sideline. Here, if we threw it up into the sideline, look at the leverage of the DB. That's why it's very important to read the leverage before making these throws and figuring out how to use this. The DB has over-the-top leverage, so if I lead this up into the sideline, he probably makes a play, maybe even picks it off. So what I actually do is I lead it down and away. So like here, since we're going to the right, I let it down and to the right. So if you picture the analog stick as a clock, I probably let it at about 4 o'clock, right? And then I'm able to click on rack catch it. You guys see, when I'm throwing the ball, very tight window. But look at by the time I catch it, I'm able to create like that extra yard or two of separation. And this is just something you're going to have to practice. What I recommend doing is going into practice mode and practice throwing all these routes against all the different man coverages. And you're going to get down. Look how tight that window was, and I was still able to complete it. Now, don't get discouraged if you have a few bad throws, because until you get used to the freeform passing, you might overthrow one here and there. Even when you're down, pat with it like me, once in a blue moon, you might overthrow it, but I would say 90+% of the time when you get this down, you're going to be able to throw the perfect pass, which is way better than if you don't use this and you don't have this down, you guys know, your quarterback is throwing terrible balls in Madden 24. The accuracy is really bad until you learn how to use this to get perfect passing. So if you enjoyed this video, if you would like to see more tutorials on mechanics and concepts like this, make sure to let me know. Comment, subscribe, comment, like the video. All that helps me out a lot. Until next time, it's your boy Duke, and I'm out of here.